Behind me is just one of the many locations across Bakersfield that was investigated Thursday morning by Homeland Security and other criminal enforcement agencies. The operation began early, starting at the California Army National Guard here in Bakersfield. Law enforcement started showing up at the National Guard around 5 a.m., along with Homeland Security, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Bakersfield Police Department, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, and Los Angeles Impact Team. Also included were the Kern County Sheriff's Office, the Drug Enforcement Association, the United States Marshals Service, and Kern County Probation Department. As the vehicles began rolling out, the investigations began. 21 federal and state warrants were served this morning with a number of arrests made. While none of the agencies said they were allowed to speak on camera, HSI Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Central Valley, Mike Chapas, said that these were criminal gang and drug cases and allowed 23 ABC to follow law enforcement to two separate locations where the warranted searches were happening. The first location was in East Bakersfield on Oregon Street with 11 occupants in one house, 7 adults and 4 children. And the second location was in West Bakersfield, off of Jewett Avenue in a gated housing community. This house had 8 occupants, 4 minors, and 4 adults, along with visible evidence being carried out of the home and car of the residents. As for this house, a neighbor who wished to remain anonymous said he had been seeing suspicious activity for months and told us, quote, "I saw a lot of late-night activity, cars coming and going, a lot of shady or off-looking vehicles that looked like they didn't belong." End quote. Law enforcement will address these investigations tomorrow at a press conference at 2 p.m. To get updates from that conference, you can tune in on air and online at turn23.com. In East Bakersfield, Ava Kirshner, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
We're concerned about any discussion by a modern nuclear power of the potential use for nuclear weapons.
Some U.S. officials have heightened concern that Russia could use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. That's following an assessment from the National Intelligence Council. It suggests Russia's military leaders have been discussing what might prompt such a strike, according to multiple people who've read it. But the analysis is not raw intelligence or a high-confidence product.
We've seen no indication that the Russian military is making any kind of preparations for this kind of use.
Some officials believe the analysis takes conversations out of context. Others are more concerned.
It might not be just a demonstration strike in the ocean or something like this, but they might actually be used to achieve a battlefield impact.
In a statement, Russia said it only used nuclear weapons in response to an attack threatening the existence of its country. Russia illegally annexed parts of Ukraine this year. It could try to argue defending that area would fit its doctrine, says retired General Wesley Clark.
You'd wait for the Ukrainians to concentrate their forces, and then you'd fire a pulse of these weapons out across several miles.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
For Lucy Pro, TikTok is more than a social media app. She calls it her side hustle, a source of income.
As a user, a TikTok user myself, I would just think that, it would be a little bummed out just for the fact because it would be taking away one of my tools that I use to promote my online business that I use on a daily basis.
Yet a growing number of U.S. lawmakers worry about the company's handling of sensitive user data. After months of negotiations to resolve concerns that Chinese government authorities could seek to gain access to the data TikTok holds on U.S. citizens, one of the 5 commissioners of the FCC, Brendan Carr, says the U.S. government should ban the video sharing app rather than come to an agreement. This cybersecurity expert says private data for TikTok users is as compromised as it is with other social media platforms.
We don't see any particular evidence that TikTok is necessarily any more harmful or dangerous, let's say, from our data perspective than any other social media.
Commissioner Carr admits the capacity of the FCC is limited to ban TikTok. It's the Commerce Department or the Federal Trade Commission that have the handle on regulations. With the millions of users in the middle of this, the advice is a proactive approach when it comes to protecting private information.
We have to exercise caution because ultimately their service can be hacked. It doesn't matter whether they're based in the United States or in China or in Germany, right?
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
President Biden with a midterm election closing argument condemning political violence like the brutal hammer attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband Paul and linking it to the deadly insurrection at the Capitol.
The assailant ended up using a hammer to smash Paul's skull. After the assailant entered the home asking, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" Those are the very same words used by the mob when they stormed the United States Capitol on January the 6th.
Nancy! Where are you, Nancy?
Biden blaming former President Trump for spreading false election fraud claims that incited that mob, warning hundreds of election deniers are now running for office.
There are candidates running for every level of office in America, for governor, Congress, Attorney General, Secretary of State, who won't commit. They will not commit to accepting the results of elections that they're running in. It's unprecedented, it's unlawful, and it's un-American. As I've said before, you can't love your country only when you win.
Top House Republican Kevin McCarthy on Fox News accusing Biden of dividing the nation instead of uniting it.
They just want to distract from the disasters they created.
And federal and local law enforcement are now increasingly concerned about the risk of political violence on elected officials and poll workers as we approach Election Day. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
This stately home in New Jersey, one of a number targeted by the FBI as part of a series of raids on Wednesday. Arrests, searches, and seizures taking place across 9 states from California to New York. In total, at least 21 people from 5 states have been arrested for their role in a nationwide catalytic converter theft ring.
We've also identified tens of thousands of catalytic converters that have been taken on as well. It's a larger problem than we initially thought.
The FBI says those indicted stole catalytic converters in multiple states. Then all of them ended up at DG Auto Parts in New Jersey. The Bureau claims the company knowingly purchased the stolen converters, extracted the precious metals inside, and sold the materials for more than $545 million.
It takes less than 30 seconds to really take these catalytic converters and make that profitability.
All non-electric cars are equipped with a catalytic converter, which helps convert pollutant gases into less harmful ones. If stolen, repairs can cost thousands of dollars.
Because of world events and supply chain issues, the price of those has skyrocketed in recent years.
Some car owners are now trying to deter thieves by using a cable locking device. Police departments even holding etching events to deter thieves. Catalytic converter theft has become a nationwide problem. The resulting damage can make a car inoperable or, at the very least, illegal to drive under EPA regulations. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.